All right, team, let's get right to it. So, without further ado, we're going to be talking about, of course, the How to Train Your Dragon, guys. And so, but let's get right to it. But anyways, so How to Train Your Dragon is a movie. It's a remake, a remake film that we have been very, very excited for. Me and Lex have been very
Yep,
excited for this. We are
we love the animated.
huge fans of the animation. That alone, like the last movie, brought me to tears, and it's crazy how animation has this caliber of storytelling of a live action movie. And when
Yep.
they first announced this, I was all like, okay, whatever, fine. Again, we're coming back into the same flavor, if you will, of Disney making live action movies that are just there's not really a great track record
Yeah.
there. Some movies are okay, don't get me wrong. Some of them are great, some of them are okay.
And
Um,
was this DreamWorks' first live action take from their animated
Ooh,
stuff?
that's a good question. While you look that up, I'm gonna read the synopsis
I think it
on
is.
it, on everything. But yeah, so set in Viking village of Berk, the story follows Hiccup, a misfit teen who befriends an injured dragon, Toothless, in a world where dragons are feared and hunted. The film follows the same heartwarming arc of friendship, bravery, and challenging traditions, but with a more grounded, realistic tone. So without further ado, one of the things I'm gonna say, so I'm gonna Lex, when you get that, let me know. One of the key things I do want to say here, guys, and I do want to say this because if you saw our out of theater reaction, I had Lex do his first, and then I did one right after. I hate to say this, and I know me and Lex are going to be on the opposite sides of this, right? That's the whole point of this. Right? We're
Yep.
going to be total opposite sides. And I'm gonna bring on a little bit filthy, and I want Lex to bring up some positive energy here. So I I did not love this movie. I liked it. I didn't love this movie. The first 30 minutes I hated. I'm not gonna lie. I really did not like the first 30 minutes of this film. And I'm gonna tell you why. So for me, it was really the script, the word choices they were choosing. The jokes weren't hitting with me at all. The kids usually okay, so it's literally almost pretty much spot on. And there was a few things that they changed up, but it's pretty much almost the same, if not like 80% the same story, except they changed the jokes. And for me, I felt like the jokes weren't landing very well. And the kids, the clan of kids, or however you want to say it, his posse, I feel like it wasn't as powerful or wasn't as um how do you say it, didn't flow. It didn't flow organically in the live action like it did in the animation. But again, it's so hard for me not to compare, right? So it's like I have to not compare it. But I just, yeah, I mean, for me, it was mainly the script. I really did not like. I just did not like the word choice and everything. But anyways, Lex, what did you think of How to Train Your Dragon? And then was that DreamWorks' first live action from
Yeah,
animation?
it seems like it. Yeah,
Yeah,
from what I found, none of their mainstream animated properties had been pitched to live action yet.
yeah.
Um, but
But this,
like
yeah,
you said, there's a history of Disney doing so, right? And so there's always
yeah,
the fear of, typically the reasoning behind it tends to be money related and things like
yeah.
that. And so I understand it. But what I was happy to answer your question, like I actually really enjoyed this movie. Damn
Awesome.
near no, I can say it. I loved it. I'm on the verge of like really enjoying it, and then
Yeah,
going into love, like fully loving it. I love the animation, like that one. There's no question about.
yeah.
I think the trilogy in the animated format is probably like one of the best animated series or trilogies, and it's what I liked about this, from my opinion, is they did the things right. There was a couple of signs that I felt like, okay, I'm less nervous now because of this. And it's like they brought the original director back. They also brought the original composer,
Mm,
and
I
the
saw that.
director being at the helm is such an important thing because while I have not seen Lilo and Stitch yet, I know that for that one they brought the director back to voice Stitch and to consult, but he himself he was involved, but he was not fully at the helm, and there's probably studio interference to change the story. So like, while I haven't seen it, I'm aware of some of his story, like the story changes that they made, and I wasn't happy about most of them, and I'm still gonna see it. But here, in my opinion, while they changed some small things, like you said, they turned the animated one is what, like an hour and 30 minutes. So they turned an hour and 30-minute movie into 2 hours, right? So they had to add stuff. but for the most part, like it follows structurally the original one. And then you may say like, well, why do it at all? And once again, I
Yeah.
believe there's money involved, but there's also 15-year gap between the original and this live action. There's going to
Yeah.
be a whole new crowd of kids that are exposed to this for the first time, and I think that at least the soul was there for me. Is it better than the animated? No, I don't think it tried to. I think it just I think there is something that happens to your brain when you see these characters and this story being told in a live action manner. Like you can still find yourself relatable. I'm not saying an animation, because in an animation you suspend your disbelief, but in live action there's more things that kind of can make you feel related to, because the characters themselves are humans and they, look like you and whatnot. So I think that's why there's still some sauce here. There's still magic behind this, and I felt like they captured it great. And not everything was my favorite. I have similar concerns like what you mentioned with the. I think all the actors did great. Few exceptions around the side characters, specifically around the kids and the crew that Hiccup has. Not all of them were as charismatic as their counterparts in the animated version.
Definitely.
I think the actor that played Hiccup, Mason Thames, he's going to be a star. I've liked his performance even going back to Black Phone. He was in that movie. And
yes, I remember that. That was really good. And Black Phone 2 is coming out, by the way.
Yeah. And he when he was cast, I was like, he has the look. Now I just have to see him act. And I saw him act, and I think he kept all the quirkiness of Hiccup in the animated version. So him, I felt like was more closer to a 1-to-1. I actually enjoyed the actress that played Astrid as well. It was mostly the side characters that, once again, I felt like I don't know if it was the animated or something. They were just funnier in animation, and in live action, I didn't feel that as much. So that was one of the things that I noticed for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like that they didn't. Again, we're comparing, right? It's hard to, it's a standalone movie, but I feel like that they weren't as genuine to Hiccup. Like, yes, they were against Hiccup, but then they felt genuine after that, and they got open more. This one, I feel like it was more forced again. But here's the thing. I do want to say. The CGI is spectacular. The CGI is amazing. The realistic dragons are there. The tone is kind of there, but I'm not gonna lie. I expected it to be, again, I know this is a freaking kids movie. I keep forgetting, right? But when you start doing live action and dragons, I'm thinking, again, just my brain is like, like movies like Dragonheart that are just, I know the dragons talk on that one, but it's more like, oh my God, there's a dragon. I just feel like that they could have been more gruesome, the dragons. Like, it could have been more deadly than it already was. But again, that's going too serious, and that's going like Game of Thrones, and obviously we can't do that.
Maybe that's why your mind plays trick, because it's live action instead of animated.
I guess again, that's just my way of thinking. But another thing I do want to say as well is the runtime, 125 minutes. I feel like this is mainly was made, and I said it on the Out of Theater reaction, because Epic Universe just opened up this year, and I feel like that they knew they were going to add it to the park already, probably years ago, probably like 5 years ago. They probably, when this movie was like in the middle of the franchise, they were like, we're going to add that to Epic Universe.
Well, it's a very strong property. And I told my wife, it's like, imagine, like, I think the kids are going to flock to kids and parents, they're going to flock to the park.
The Viking helmet is like a merchandise, freaking amazing marketing, by the way. So I think everyone,
it's huge. I think definitely, like, Universal has been looking for their ways to continue to compete with, Disney World and Disneyland and things like that.
Yeah.
And they have to use their very best properties, and I think this is it. And I want to see more of the live action. I want to see
yes. And I didn't love it, and I'm gonna, I wish I would have liked it a lot more. I'm not gonna lie here. I just, that first 30 minutes, I don't know what it is. It's kind of
I had a kind of a rush.
And that's the thing too. The animation is just like it, but I get sucked into the animation, but
Well,
I
well,
just
if you
don't
think about
believe.
it, once again,
Yeah.
the animated is an hour, and once again, I forgot, it's less than 2 hours, 100%. So
Oh yeah, it's
it's
less
much
than 2 hours.
shorter.
Yeah.
It's like an
Yeah.
hour and 30 minutes, maybe
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
So the time to value, or the time where things pick up, is much sooner than in live
Yes.
action. Live action
Yeah.
dragged a little bit on that first.
Yeah.
I call it the first third. So the first third is where I was a little worried as well,
Yeah.
of like, is it going to capture the same magic? And once again, that came at a later time. At least for me, it worked. Everything else, like,
Yeah.
really, once Hiccup and Toothless start developing the relationship, and then the score
Yeah.
kicks in and things like that, that's when I was like,
The
yeah,
score was really great. Yeah, I
this
love
is
the
it.
score.
This is the
Yeah.
magic. This is the feeling. And then, because it's a realistic take, right? Like, those moments where you're flying in the sky, I think they take your breath a little bit more than the animated, to an extent,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of the realness. And like you said, the CGI was great. I'm so glad that they kept the dragon models, like, they kept them
Yeah.
funky. They kept them looking like the ones in the anime. I would have
So
hated if they had gone like a
yeah.
full straight up,
So
you know.
here's my thing with the dragons. So I felt like excuse me. So with the dragons, I'm joking. I feel like that the animation was way cuter than it was
Well,
this one.
yeah, of course, yeah. No, but I I'm just glad they didn't change the design. That would have pissed me off if they had made them look
They wouldn't
realistic.
like
Yeah,
Game of Thrones or Dragonheart.
yeah, exactly. Like, that would have pissed me off so much.
The
So I love,
scales.
but
Yeah.
yeah, obviously animated is going to be cuter 100% of the time. I just love, like, a lot of the dragons reminded me of my pets. Like, some of them
Well, see, here's the
reminded me of
thing.
one of
Here's
my
the thing
dogs and
too.
cats.
In the animation, he's more like a cat, but
Yeah.
in this one, he's less like a cat, which I did not like.
No, I
I
kind
didn't.
of felt the, well, I don't know.
No, no, because all the same stuff that he was doing in the animation, they didn't do it all in the live
Yeah,
action. I
yeah,
don't know if you noticed that, but anyways, that's just
yeah,
my me nitpicking, right? That's just me nitpicking, whatever. But anyways,
yeah.
yeah, I feel like this movie, I really wanted to enjoy this film, and Gerard Butler, him playing the dad, that was really cool. I loved it,
Yeah.
but man, I mean, he was wearing like a jumpsuit or something, man. It looked that like I was like, Dale, he was
I
wearing
mean,
something, man.
they made him look
Yeah,
like just this big old hunking guy, and I mean, he's buff, but he's not like,
he's not like that.
he's
He
not
looks like
unproportionate.
this. He's like
Yeah,
this. Yeah,
I didn't mind it. I actually didn't know that he was the one that voiced the dad in the animated.
yeah.
I
What the
didn't know
heck?
that.
Yeah,
No,
yes,
when
sir.
I saw him cast, I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, I buy
Yeah.
it.
No, no,
He's
and I
not
loved
as
it.
big, right? But
Yeah,
like,
I loved it because they're paying homage, you're
well,
respecting that. Yeah,
that's how it should be done. Like, that's why, like, don't get me wrong. Like, obviously,
you talk
once
about
again,
Disney.
money grab, right? It's a money grab no
Yeah,
matter what. Because then, if they didn't
it
change
is.
anything, if they did it a shot for shot, then what was the point, right? Well, money. But for some reason, I feel like, yeah, if the animated was gold, why kind of reinvent the wheel? And I feel like
Yeah,
that's where Lilo and Stitch fell short. However, like I said, if there's enough of a gap, you're introducing a whole new crowd. This was some kids' first time watching Lilo and Stitch. This was actually, there were some kids behind us that were having a blast watching this movie, and it was great. And we talked to their parents a little bit afterwards. It was their first time too. Like, they hadn't seen, the parents
oh,
obviously
nice.
saw the animated, but the kids didn't. And so maybe that's enough, and maybe that's why still Lilo and Stitch did pretty well at the box office. It's just, for the adults and for the OG fans, right? Like,
Mhm.
I feel like this is the formula: is try to keep it as close as possible to the animated, and I think
But
success
it's a
comes.
money,
Like,
but it's a money grab. That's the thing too,
yeah,
and
but
it
if they're
takes
gonna
away
money grab, at
originality.
least do it right, though. Like,
Takes
they're
originality,
gonna do
but
the money
anyways,
grab
yeah,
anyways. I just want them to
true,
do it right. Like, don't
true.
shit on the,
Yeah,
don't shit on the
yeah.
OG. Like,
It's like making the same. It's like making the same entree, just adding like pepper to it, I guess, or
yeah,
something.
do a
Yeah,
little pizzazz, percent. Give me a nicer plate, but
dude.
I want it to taste the same. Like,
Right,
if
right.
it's a gold meal, if it's something from my childhood, I want it to
Yeah.
taste the same.
All
So
right.
that's how you do it. Take
Yeah.
notes, Disney, and whoever else is gonna start doing
They
live
should.
actions.
I'm not gonna lie. It's actually better. I'll say that. If you're comparing it to the Disney live action, it's way better than
Oh yeah,
the recent ones. Definitely better than Snow White. I can tell you that right now.
yeah.
Way better than Snow White. And this is me being a Gal Gadot fan and a Rachel Zegler fan, but whatever. Anyways, okay. So not going into that conversation, but rating 1 out of 10. 10 be the highest. Lex, when do you give this rating for this movie?
I think this was a very solid 8.7 for me. I
Oh,
don't always
nice.
love doing the points, but it fits nicer when I can work on those micro adjustments. But yeah,
Yeah.
solid 8.7 for me. really fun time.
Huh.
I'd probably watch it again.
Oh yeah. What do you think my score is gonna be? Just curious. What do you?
I don't know. Your text messages at first, like I won't say what you said, but it sounded more harsh than what you're giving it credit. So I think you
What did I
came
say?
around to
I'm
respecting
kind of
it.
curious now. What the heck did I say in my
I
text
think you said
message?
you hated it.
No, I didn't say. I didn't. Well,
I
I hated the first 30 minutes. That's what I said.
did
Or
you? Okay. Well,
yeah,
maybe I
yeah,
read it wrong.
yeah. I
But
hated. I hated the first 30 minutes. But anyways,
yeah.
so
I think you're gonna be on the six, low sevens, maybe.
yeah, I'm actually gonna be a six, solid six. So I'll
Okay.
be solid 6 out of 10. You know, it's not Hobbs and Shaw. Obviously, it's not the worst movie of the year. It's not. It's definitely not even the lowest movie I've seen all year. I'll give you
Oh
that.
no,
You know, it's not
100%.
100%
There was
not.
love. There
It's
was love
still
and care behind
entertaining.
it.
Oh yeah, it's still entertaining. I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed a few moments in here, but again, it's just my brain comparing it. I had to rewatch so I rewatched. I was driving back from Austin. I should not do this, and it was stuck in traffic. And so I put on my phone on my holder, and I had playing the animation.
For legal reasons, I need to cut this.
Yeah, coming back from work and so I was like, you know what, I got to get this movie out of my head because I rewatched it and I was just laughing, giggling. The animation and I was just like, damn, the animation's so good, the jokes are so good, and the other thing too was the big fat guy in the anime. He was more funnier, like he was just like he got more into it, and then against the animation, right?
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
and yeah, so it goes without saying, animations, we see things differently when it comes to animation to live action. So what's to say Universal won't do the wild robot in live action now? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So
No, that one they probably shouldn't. Like
I mean,
I love that movie so much,
yeah,
but it's
but
because it's
I
all
mean,
animals. Like at that point, there's really no reason to like make it.
they just
It's gonna
CGI
be
the animals.
animated. Yeah, that's animated again. Like they probably shouldn't do that. No, and then the
Bro, what did
animation
you just
style
say?
was
What did you
gorgeous.
just say? You just added a little. That's all
I
you got to do.
no, this is different. Well, I also said that there's a 15-year gap between the first and the second one, or the
True.
live action and the. No, I'd rather them invest because there's other books. There's a whole book series. I'd rather them
Yeah.
invest in a sequel.
In a sequel from the yeah,
Yeah,
I got you. I got you.
100%.
Angela said it's a kids movie. Yeah.
LOL. She's talking to you, man.
Yeah, I know. I
You
know.
were
She's
talking about
talking.
you wanted Dracarys all up in
I
there.
know, man. I was waiting for it. I was like, Jacanis. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Burn those Vikings. Let's
Oh
go.
my god.
House of the Dragons. Targaryens all day. Anyways, all right. So yeah, that is our take, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in to our review and everything. We had a blast we had a blast watching this. Regardless, it was still really cool to see moviegoers out there. It was a full theater in
Yep.
Austin. And I'm sure it was a full theater where you were at, Lex.
Yeah, it was.
And so yeah, and so the kids, and that's the end of the day. This is a kids movie. I feel like also like we weren't the audience for it. It was mainly for the new generation who's coming in, and also to get people's kids excited so that way they could beg their parents to take them to the park. Because did you have an ad of Epic Universe in front of the movie?
I
Right?
did I don't
We did.
remember.
I
Oh
did.
yeah, probably.
I
Yeah,
did.
I
Yeah,
think it
yeah,
did. Yeah, you have
yeah,
to. You have
yeah.
to. Oh
Because it
yeah,
was
I did.
like
I did.
Epic. It's like what world is she going to?
This girl
Yeah,
goes through a portal.
the girl,
Yeah,
right, the family, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I was all like, "Where the heck she go?" And she went, and she came with the Viking helmet. I was like, "Damn, that's so cool!" And I can't wait to go next year. So I'm going regardless, though. Regardless if this movie was good or bad, I'm still going. Anyways, but all right, guys, thank you so much. As always, I'm your host Ryan D. Aka Ryan 680. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. Yeah, Lex, say it again. I'm sorry, I interrupted
Oh,
you.
sorry. No, and then this was Lex. Thank you so much, guys. Stay tuned. Keep watching movies. Get excited. There's going to be a blast this summer, I think, and
Yeah.
we'll keep on talking about these.
All right, guys, have a good one. See you at the movies. Latest.